Broadcasting from Hollywood, it's the official On Air with Brandon J podcast. Here we go.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brandon. Welcome to On Air with Brandon J. I'm joined by a special guest today from Havana, Cuba. She's now made it to the United States of America, the USA. Miss Chila Lynn. Chila, how are you?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me, Brandon.
Hey, I'm excited to have you as well. When I got the call from your management, I was like, I have to have her on the show. I mean, you know, and let's just take it a step back. Like I was reading an article that was on CNN, right? And I'm on CNN. I'm reading this article, and your story is just so compelling, and it's very inspiring. So, but before we go into that, let's talk about how you got into this wonderful world of music. Like, let's talk about growing up in Havana for all of us that haven't been to Cuba. What was it like being someone as a child growing up in Cuba?
Well, Cuba is it's a very beautiful country. We have the greatest people, but it's kind of difficult there because they don't have like the development in the music industry that all musicians dream about, so I don't like to talk about politics so much, but politics affects us, to everybody. So yeah, I mean, it was really cool because my dad is a violinist, and he was always traveling, and being a musician in Cuba gives you sort of facilities to travel and
right.
to in and out. So he always came back home with new music, and that was really cool for me. I always wanted to be a musician because I think my call came in 1995. I think I was 4 or 5 years old, and it was when I heard Stevie Wonder's music for the first time. So
that's amazing, Stevie Wonder. I mean, you can't go wrong with that classic Motown sound.
Yeah. My dad came home from one of his travels, and he brought Natural Wonder, the album. And yes. I remember it was like weekend, and I just heard, the noise and everything of his arrival. And, the first song is Dancing to the Rhythm, right? And
right.
He had a lot of, a really long introduction of violins, and it's crazy. So
that's awesome.
I remember as if it was happening right now, like in a movie, in a slow motion movie. I jumped off the bed and went through all
no pun intended, right?
Yeah, I just went in through the hall, and right before I pushed the door to see my dad, I heard his voice, like, lonely all my life, I've been lonely, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is this,
And you did that so easily with ease just now, right? You just sang live here on the radio. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't even ask you to sing. And so, we know this music is flowing through your soul, through your bones, through your blood. Chila, who are some of your other influences along with Stevie?
Well, Mariah Carey is really important, and Whitney Houston, and Boyz II Men, all of those Brahma nights, like, my God. And all of those influences were like, I always fed off from them. It was like, I mean, I was always in Christmas every time my dad came home, like, with new music. It was Christmas the whole year for me. So yeah, I heard Stevie, and I mean, it was my call. I started to study like classical piano when I was 4 or 5 years old. In Cuba, we started at a very early age, and yeah, my dad is a musician. We had a lot of musician friends. There were always instruments in my home, and well, it was kind of, it chose me, and I also choose music. So that was that kind of childhood I had. Always music, always sing, and always connected to it.
That's amazing. And let's talk about, like, so you've worked with some major artists. I mean, and two of the artists that come to my mind, right? And I think she's just brilliant vocally. Pink, right? Pink, even her daughter can sing. Oh my goodness. Did you hear her daughter singing during Christmas, during the Christmas special? Like, incredible. So you've worked with Pink. And then I saw you work with James Morrison. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's the artist that did that song Broken Strings with Nelly Furtado, like one of my favorite songs years ago. What was it like working with those guys?
That was insane because
Yeah.
when first time I signed a record deal was when I was 19 years old, you know.
Right.
And I'm a songwriter. I'm still writing songs since I was 13. But you know, when I first, you know, signed the first record deal, I had my songs, but the label said, you know, these artists, they want to write for your first album.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? This is it.
I know you had to be like, really? Pink wants to write on my album? Like, that's such an accomplishment.
I mean, they told me they have songs, they're really good, that they and never been in an album before.
Right.
And they want you to sing them, you know? So I said, forget about my music right now. Let's do this. You know, you don't say no to those personalities. You don't say no to them. So I did my best to take all of those songs. I mean, I had also Jill Scott on the album, John Marshall. I mean, so many, Nika Costa, so many people. And
wow.
Yeah, and I think I earned the right to meet James Morrison in person. He went to Spain to do 2 concerts, and you know, he wrote for my album also at Spain too, and he wanted me to open his concerts
incredible. And you know what's interesting about James, Chila? James Morrison has one of the most unique voices as a male vocalist. Like his sound, he has such a signature sound and the writing ability. So like having these artists write with you really speaks a lot about the natural talent that you have. And so what I want to talk about now is like, okay, so leading up to this, so tell me about this message in a bottle, because this is the thing that has gone viral, this story, which is just awesome in general. Like you place a message in a bottle, and we see this on like movies and TV shows, but like you actually did it in real life.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that Kevin Costner movie, that Message in the Bottle, the movie?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Oh, my son is here. So, I was in Havana. I always had this dream, you know, because Stevie Wonder and all those artists that still are my biggest influence, they are all from here. So
yes.
Always a moment to come here and try my music here. So I was in Havana. I dinner with some friends, and she, you know, one of my best friends present me with. We ate pasta. I cooked pasta, and she brought this white wine. We had last night, you know.
Okay.
But day after, I said, you know what? I had a really great time tonight. We have to do something with this empty bottle.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of related to my dream, and I just sat down, I wrote the letter. I went to a really beautiful bay that we have there in Havana that is dedicated to that virgin, you know, the virgin I wrote the letter for is a Nigerian and Catholic virgin. So I just drew it. I went with my grandma, and I did that gesture of faith, you know. And my grandma told me, you know what, Sheila, there's a lot of fishermen here, you know. They're just gonna take your butter and they're just gonna like read your intimate feelings. And I said, Grandma, you know, that's not important. The important thing is the gesture, you know.
There it is.
Well, a couple of months ago, someone they wrote me an email. They searched for me on Google, and you know, my name is Chila Lynn. It's kind of weird, you know. It's a rare name. So they found me immediately in the first results, and they contacted me, and I was like, Mama, are you the bottle girl? Are you Chila Lynn the bottle?
I know your instant reaction was like, is this really happening right now? Like I remember I placed this message in a bottle.
I looked at my mom and I said, you know what? This has to be a prank. Wait a second. Vale. This has to be a prank, you know? And I was like, well, they described my letter, and I realized that it wasn't a prank at all.
Right.
You know, they really had the bottle and the letter. And well, Florida Today, CNN, Fox, even they call me even from the New York Daily, because they wanted to know the story, you know?
Absolutely.
So I'm pretty excited because this May 21st in May, we're gonna do a meet and greet in the place in Melbourne where the bottle is. So after all these years, I'm gonna reunite myself with my letter, and it feels like insane. I'm so grateful.
That's amazing. And so I know you got your new music that you're preparing. Tell us about your project. I think you said July is when this is slated to release.
Yeah, we have like in our minds the release for July 1st, and it's called Unleash Mode. The single, it's called Unleash Mode. So we're really excited about it. Finally, after all these years of desiring it, like manifesting through the bottle thing, through my hard work, I found a team here in the States and a lot of people that really wanted to support me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I want to thank for real. Thank you. Thank all of the media that are like interested in my work, in my music. Without you, we're nothing. Without you artists, we're nothing, literally. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's my first single released from the States to the world, and yeah, I just want to. I can't wait. I can't wait.
That is amazing. For all of those out there, whether they're male, they're female, children, all around the world, right? And they're the next possible Chila Lynn or James Morrison or Ed Sheeran or Justin Bieber. What advice, Chila, do you give to those individuals out there?
Well, don't give up. I know it sounds like a cliche, but it literally happens, when you least expect it. Just prepare yourself, do all your homework, study, be prepared. So when the opportunity comes, you'll be prepared. In my country, we said, la suerte es loca y a cualquiera le toca, which means luck is crazy and it can be your turn, whatever.
Yeah, I heard loca and I thought about living La Vida Loca, living the crazy life, no pun intended.
It's kind of, yeah, because that's really what it means. But, luck is crazy. So you got to be prepared, in case it's your turn, you just enjoy it and grab it with your strength. Like it happens to me, you never know.
Well, Chila, thank you so much for sharing your story. Congratulations on, fulfilling everything that you desire to do and making it to the USA and showing that. And I think let's take it a step further. It's almost a level of faith because you place this bottle in the water and it arrives in Florida out of all places. And the gentleman is running a Cuban restaurant and you're from Havana, Cuba. Like, is that not a coincidence or what?
I don't know. People say that it was the Virgin. People say that. I mean, there's a lot of, everybody has their own believing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to know. I mean, my believing is that it's fate. It was fate. It was my time. It was my faith.
For sure.
That's what I want to believe, because I'm just really excited because we have our first gigs for June. I mean, I haven't been too much in the States. I mean, this is like the second week me in the States being, and we already have gigs in June in
awesome.
Houston. Yeah, Houston. We have Houston. We have Austin. We have LA. We have a couple of places that fest that are also interested, and it's crazy. I just want people to know and support it, because I'm really in love with what we're doing right now. Yeah.
Hey, you're coming to a city near you, so make sure you guys look out for Chila Lynn coming to a city near you. Chila, thank you so much for being a special guest here today.
Thank you
for everybody that wants to follow you and your amazing story. Where can they go?
Well, we have the webpage in the sites. There's going to be all the info for all the events that are coming up, the release, as I told you. It's like, www.chilalynofficial.com. And we are on Twitter, Instagram, everywhere, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. The music is everywhere, all platforms. And I really appreciate, Brandon, that you got me, for having me in the show. I love your music there. I love your show. I love everything. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Hey, thank you I'm honored to have real talent on the show. And thank you so much for sharing your story. Congratulations. And I look forward to hearing that new music coming out this summer.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, this is like a dream. The dream literally came true. I just want to, it's gasoline. It's like fuel, you know,
Yeah,
every time
yeah.
something, every time I fulfill something, I just want to know, okay, what's next? What more can I bring?
I'll leave you with this, right? I always tell artists and everybody, once you start to build momentum, you have to continually increase and build that momentum. Just as you're saying, gasoline, you add more gas to the fire. What happens? The explosion becomes greater. So keep building that momentum, and eventually it's going to take on a mind of its own. And that's what your desire is, and that's what you're hoping for. So I'm rooting for you.
Brandon. Thank you so much, Brandon, for real.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you. This has been a special interview with national recording artist. Well, I should say international recording artist Chila Lynn, right here on Air with Brandon J. If you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/Brandon Jay and click the bell to get notified for whenever I post new content, exciting news, entertainment news, and new interviews. I'll see you next time here. Goodbye for now.